Hey friends, welcome to Gracefully Faithful. I'm Jaime, and this is my best friend Crystal.
Hi everyone, I'm Crystal. I'm just starting my walk with Jesus and I'm learning as I go. Asking questions, figuring out what faith really means, and seeing God show up in unexpected ways.
And I've been walking with Jesus for years, but motherhood, life, and friendship keep teaching me new lessons every day. Our daughters may be at different stages, but being moms has brought us closer to God and to each other.
So here we are, two friends, two moms, two different journeys, talking about life, faith, the doubts, the questions, and the grace we experience along the way.
We're not perfect. We don't have all the answers, but we do want to share what we're learning. The messy, the beautiful, and everything in between.
This is Gracefully Faithful.
We're so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hello.
Hello. Oh, this table is going to shake. Okay. Hello.
You should see my table setup. I got a table on top of a table.
Well, hello,
Welcome
everybody.
back. Welcome back.
It is episode 2, right? We're doing episode 2.
Yeah.
We were a little bit ambitious, saying that we were going to launch the show in January when we had Christmas Eve, which is Guy's birthday, and then Christmas. And then you came here.
And we couldn't even record an episode together there.
No, we were like, maybe we could do 2. We had no time to do anything. Jaime and her family came in. They stayed with us for a week and helped us throw Peachy's first birthday party. So there has been a lot going on. So launching this podcast and having like, we'll pre-record all these episodes. Like we'll have like a backlog of episodes.
We got this.
Yeah, no, none of it. So episode 2 is today. Who knows when you're going to see it, but you will at some point.
Soon.
Soon. Has to be soon.
We're going to get ourselves together.
We have to. No
But
choice.
it was so fun to be together.
I know. We took a lot of cute podcast pictures here in this room. Super cute. Some not so nice looking, but good for memories.
Some funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
All good things. And then hopefully we'll be together again in the future.
Well, we will.
We will in Tennessee. Maybe when we go to Tennessee, we can record an episode, but we can also have Kendra as a guest speaker.
Oh, that would be good.
That will kind of be
We have
really
to do
cool.
that.
Yeah. Or if we do it after bed, we can also have the husbands, like 3 and 3. That's kind of a cute idea too.
Yeah.
Lots of things. Okay. So today, what are we talking about today?
Where our faith was before we got serious about it, right?
Yeah. What faith looked like before we took it seriously. Want to start? Kick it off? How it looked for you?
What faith looked like early on to me was, I was baptized. I think we talked about that as a baby. We started out in the Catholic religion. So I was baptized. I was like out of the womb and there I was getting baptized, which was wonderful. As I got older, I don't know if we went to church as I was an infant. I assume we were going to church probably, but baby Jaime wouldn't know that. And Sunday school. And then after I took communion in the Catholic church, that was it. I don't remember going to church for a long time. I know that there was church hurt with my mom. My dad didn't really come to church with us. It was just my mom taking us kids to Sunday school, and then we went over to Mass. So after my communion, I remember there was a little party for that, and I didn't even remember. I didn't even know at that point what communion really was.
I still don't know what it is. I literally texted Jaime 2 days ago and said, I don't even know what it is.
And I haven't
And
even
you said you were going to get back to me.
I know. I haven't had the, wow, I'm terrible. See, well, so at the time I didn't understand what it was. And we could get into communion and stuff later because I know a lot of different denominations believe in different things. And I certainly believe in a different thing than you might.
I don't even know what I believe right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I literally, like with my religion that I am now, my religion, like I hate the labels. I really do, because I just would like to think that we just follow exactly what the Bible says. And there's like no straying from it. Like Jesus said this, and that's what it is. But I didn't know what it was, and I certainly didn't participate in communion. The only time I did, I imagine, was when I had my communion, and then years and years went by. We would pop into my dad's side of the family's church, and we would go there for, Easter, Christmas, things like that. The times that lukewarm Christians would pop into church, right? Not to say that's not important because it is. If that's the only time you could get there, it is. As long as you're in the word, you're doing those things. But church, find a good church. You need your church family, the community. It's wonderful. So we were just doing that. And I don't even remember taking communion at that church because I felt like, I'm like, am I allowed to do this? 'Cause I feel like at such a young age, like, I don't know how you could possibly understand what communion is and what a big deal it is. So anyway, I'm like going off on a tangent. It seems like about communion, but really it's just about where my faith was then and now. So that was all in New Jersey. And then we moved here to Vegas and we didn't go to church. We never found a church. It was crazy. We only went again to the church my grandmother and them found, my dad's side of the family, his sister and mom, dad, my cousins, all of those people, like they had a church, but I don't think they were going regularly either. I'm not sure. But we went for Easter, Christmas, things like that. And then, I was just living in the world, really. And when I met Hector, I didn't even ask like if he was a believer. I mean, I knew though pretty quickly because his mom, people in Puerto Rico, they give blessings every time, all the time. They bless you. When they see you, they say, God bless you. It's like
Oh,
such a normal thing, like, hello, God bless you. Goodbye, God bless you. All those things. So
aw.
it was easy to figure out that he was a believer. So that was a good thing because it wasn't on my mind. Even if I was praying here and there, I was always praying, but it felt like a prayer here and there was good enough. And then, we got married. We weren't married by like a pastor or anything. It was just an officiant. And, they have the Bible verses in like almost every wedding. They say what the First Corinthians Bible verse that everybody knows. And as a couple, we didn't talk about it. We didn't decide to go to church, nothing. We moved to San Diego, just he and I, because of the military. That's when things went really downhill for me there. Even though, like, I love San Diego and I felt like at maybe a few years ago that was, like, one of the best times of my life living there. It was so much fun. I had a great group of friends. We were always together, always hanging out, but we were partying, drinking. I never in my life drank. When we moved to San Diego, I was, like, 23, 24. I had never been drunk in my life, and that's when it started. I started drinking and just getting completely wasted, and it was terrible, and it's so bad for your soul. It really is to be drinking like that and not even be able to remember everything that happened, what went on, and other things, I did other things that, like, I don't even really talk about. I just thought, like, "Oh my gosh, it's such a great group of friends, and I love this life," but my husband was at home, and I was out partying, and I, like, say to him now, I'm like, "Why did you let me do that?" Like,
Right, like, why
why?
was that okay with you?
And it's because we were both not in the right place spiritually, like, with God, our faith wasn't strong. He was like, "I
Yeah.
just wanted you to have fun with your friends," and I'm like, Did you just want time away from me?" And he's
You
like,
flipped it
"No."
on him.
He's like, "No." And, he's like, "I wasn't gonna stop you from doing that stuff," but he should have. He should have
Yeah,
stopped me, but I can't be mad at him about it because we weren't there. We were not there yet. And, when you have friends, like, who you hang around matters because they're either
yeah,
gonna strengthen your faith or they're gonna destroy it, and it's not their fault. I'm not saying it's their fault, but it just your crowd matters because they're a reflection on you
yeah.
and what you turn out to be, and I had these people encouraging this behavior because, of course, they were participating in it too. Just crazy, crazy stuff.
That's why I like that saying Christians call each other up and not out, like, you call each other to be better,
Yeah.
and I feel like that is why it's important to have a group of friends who follows the same thing you do, who believes the same thing you do, because you can call each other up to be better
Yeah.
instead of like just tagging along and doing the things like, oh, she's doing it, so maybe it's okay. And
Yeah, and
no,
I mean, I wasn't even a good friend either.
well, how could you be if you weren't in like the right state of mind?
Yeah. Then we started our whole fertility stuff. I think that was probably a big part of our struggle too, maybe why I was doing destructive things because like things just weren't happening the way I thought they should. Like I thought I should have been a mom by 24 max. And that wasn't happening. And I started getting to the point that, well, this isn't happening. So whatever, I'm just going to live for me, 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 me.
Yeah.
That whole selfish thing that everybody goes through when you're not in the word, really.
Yeah.
And then we started on our journey with IVF. That's when my faith started getting stronger, even though I don't necessarily believe now that IVF is the way to go for growing your family. And it's so hypocritical of me because that's how I have my girls, and they're just the best. They're the best in the world. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful that God had mercy on me, met me where I was at the time, and gave me my blessings. He's not surprised by anything that we do, and he can make anything work. Nothing's going to mess up his plan. So, us doing that, though it may not have been the right thing, it didn't mess up his plan, and he forgives. And it's definitely something I repented for. Someone else out there may feel completely different, but I'm in the circle of we're not owed children, though God does want us to be fruitful and multiply. Not everybody is meant for that. I do
Yeah.
think I was meant for it because if I wasn't, it wouldn't have happened. So it's just
Yeah.
a complicated subject, I think. So it was just that point where things started to turn around for me. And when the girls were born, we prayed every night. We did name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And they were it's the sweetest thing having like little videos of them doing that and praying all the time at night. We would read our little Bible books, and then when we got into kindergarten and I found their curriculum and we had Bible class and they're like, "We need to go to church." And I'm like, "You girls are so right." But we did find our way back there and we're still there, and we've been, gosh, 6 years now, I guess. Man, has it been that long? Time just flies. But then I start thinking, I'm like, man, we could have been there almost 11 years
Yeah.
if, we kept going with the girls. And, I still beat myself up even though I know I'm forgiven for those things. And but yeah, it was a dark road, I feel like, before my faith got strong. And there's still hard times. There's still difficult times all the time. And I torture myself sometimes when I know that the right thing to do is to talk to God about it. But no, I'll sit there and stew for a little while as if I deserve that. I feel like a lot of the times as humans, we feel like we deserve a little bit of pain sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're going to go through it, but it doesn't have to always be so hard.
Yeah. As humans, I think it's just a natural thing to feel that way. That kind of leads into where I was or how I saw Christianity, constantly feeling like we did have to feel that way. We aren't good and we are sinners. And it's just like, whoa, just who would want to be a part of that? Why would you sign up for something where you're like, I must repent? Please forgive me. I am the worst. And that's how I saw it, was just, this is literally terrible. Like, why are you doing that to yourself? Like, who is this man? Jesus. Who is he? He's only everything. But like, why would you follow him? This sounds awful. But it is so not that way on the other side of things. But yeah, I think we are, I guess we just know that we aren't good. I heard something today that was like, we all deserve the wrath of God, but he's so merciful and whatever that we don't. And I was just even hearing that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that sounds awful, you know?
It does, because I feel like as humans, we are like, we're good. We're not out there killing anybody.
Yeah. I give sugar to my neighbor. Yeah. I bring cookies to people. I donate my clothes.
Yeah.
I don't murder. I don't do these things. Like I'm good. There's so much more to that. I'm learning that now.
What was faith like before for you, before now? What was it like as a baby?
As a baby, I guess I was christened and then nothing.
Nothing.
Nada at all. I lived across the street from a church and they had Vacation Bible School and they would have the live nativity during Christmas time with like cute animals. Then you would go in and they would have a whole bunch of things. I would go to those events, but I had no idea anything about it.
Wait, you went to VBS?
No, well, wait, I didn't sign up for it, but it was open. I don't
So you
know
would
if
just,
that
like,
makes
pop in and be like, "Hey, guys, here I am."
yeah. Yeah, there was always a sign right on the street, and it was like VBS, these dates, all are
Because that was
welcome.
never a part of my childhood. I never knew what VBS was
I mean, I didn't know
until
it. I was like,
here.
they're giving us cookies, there's crafts. Like, this
And
is
you did
what
it? You did those
yeah,
things?
yeah,
That's awesome.
I guess, but I mean, all I remember is that, and then there was, like,
That did something for you. It
I
did.
guess,
It
it
did.
planted a very small seed back then, I guess. Then there was another church kinda close by that a couple of friends went to, and they had Halloween parties, which is a whole other topic. I'm learning. But I, like, did a couple of things there, and I've always heard of communion and confirmation and all these things. I still no idea. But, yeah, it was just never, like, brought up to be into any of that. My mom and dad were very, like, "Whatever you wanna do, we're supportive," but they didn't really believe. I don't know how much they would want me to share, but their own, like, experiences kind of caused them to back away from anything they may have been believing, but they never put that on me. I only recently found out that they backed away and why, and so, yeah, it was kinda just like an open book for me, and then I never felt pulled to go one way or another throughout school, like, nobody was ever there was nothing, literally nothing. I couldn't care any less about it just because I just had no idea. And then, um, I don't know, I guess it probably stemmed from going to the music festivals and listening to that kind of music and going to EDC and all of these things and never did any of the drugs. I also didn't drink. Everybody was very confused. That was like
That's
one thing I
amazing.
yeah.
It
But it
really
was like
is.
one thing I got all the time growing up was like, "You don't smoke, you totally look like you would." That was like something I remember all the time in high school
And
was
I
people
could never
saying
imagine you doing stuff like that.
no, and it
Even
never I
before even before
no.
this crystal right now,
Yeah.
the crystal 10 years ago, I could never, never, I
No.
never. You've always been such an angel to me.
Oh, thank you. But the main reason was, 1, I wasn't interested, and then, I mean, the biggest thing was, like, I never wanted to disappoint my mom and dad. So, that was, like that's still to this day, I don't wanna do that. So, that's also I know I'm very blessed to have that kind of relationship,
You
but
honor your father and your mother. You're a
yeah.
good girl. Good job.
So,
Because I
I
do
hope he
not
sees that
do
way.
that all the
I
time.
don't do that.
I don't. It's awful. I love my mom and dad, but
Yeah. No,
it's
I'm still
awful.
very much that way. So, yeah, I would do all of the music festivals. I was always a designated driver. I would watch everybody else do and take whatever they wanted to do, and I didn't condone it, but I knew it was the mama bear. I would take anybody home, whatever caring they needed. I was also in a long-term relationship from high school on. I think it went on like 8 years, I think. So I wasn't doing promiscuous things. I feel like I was very like this, I guess maybe kind of living kind of like that kind of a life now that I'm saying it out loud.
Just not
But,
labeling it.
yeah, I guess so, and just not knowing. But, I think going from the festival life and that kind of a thing, then you go into, like, the moon, and it just kind of, like, stemmed in that way. You're watching all of these people, like, loving their life, and they're connecting with all of these things, and I'm not. Yeah, like, it's like, who's
Woo
connecting with
woo.
what spirit because they took something and they're now accessing whatever demonic situation that was. Thought, like, maybe I could get it with other ways, and it was appealing to me at the time, and that's where I went with the crystals and all of that, and I was like, "I'm gonna put my faith in these rocks and this Jesus." I don't know who Jesus is, but this clear rock right here. It's like, it's going to determine my fate.
Oh my gosh. Love you.
Yeah, so it was fun. I mean, I it unfortunately, I feel like some of the things that I did ended up working for me, and I think that that's where some people can get caught up, and it's like you fall into it a little bit because you see maybe I can help myself. Maybe I can determine my future. I can do these things by the moon and get what I want. Like you were saying, like it's very selfish. And that's just
Yeah.
not what we were designed to do. So I definitely went on a path of wanting to be my own God, I guess. I never would have mentioned it or
Said it
labeled it
that
like that.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is totally what it was. I wanted to have the control of everything and, we were one and this whole crazy thing, I was just heavily involved in that. So anytime our friend Kendra, anytime Guy's mom mentioned Jesus or I saw a post, I could not roll my eyes any harder. Like, I did not care. And then not only did I not care, but I was like, every mention, I'm like farther and farther away. Just I could not I remember working at home when we worked on shoes and my mom was here working with me. I would read something and I would turn to her and be like, "Let me read this to you." And she was always very open. She understood how I felt. She was never pushy. But I was like, "This is ridiculous. This is why would you wanna do this?" Like, I always said, "Why would you wanna sign up for this?" I had such a terrible view of what Christianity was and who God was, and now that I think about it, it's not so much like controlling in a way where you can't live your life and, "Oh my gosh, I can't do that because God," like, there's literally not a bad thing about following him. That not literally not a single bad like, don't murder anybody. Be kind to you. Love him, love your neighbor, don't cheat, don't do all of these things, like, don't turn children against him. There's not a single thing that's like, I don't really like that. Sure, you have to give up the worldly things. That's hard. I
Yeah.
struggle with that constantly.
Yeah.
Every single day I'm struggling with that. I'm like, I wake up and I'm on my phone. I'm like scrolling and then an hour goes by and I'm like, okay, I definitely could have read Luke. I could have maybe finished something that I'm dying to read and I won't because I'm trying to look at how somebody else decorated for their child's first birthday.
Yeah. I know.
None of that matters.
I'm still there too, though. I mean, I'm still there too. And I've read the Bible 3 times already, and I'm still there.
That's my biggest goal this year. Like, I want to finish it. I finished Matthew, I finished Mark, I'm on Luke. I'm always, when I watch something or listen to something, I love that they can recite it. I hear stuff about Luke all the time. It sounds so beautiful. Like, I'm so excited to read it. But instead, I have 15 minutes. Let me go edit a reel. Let me go do this instead of just getting in the word. And I know that's my biggest thing that's holding me back right now is that.
He did give us a life to live too, though, but
Yeah.
dedicating time to him is like being intentional about that is important. And just finding the time, like 10 minutes even, just starting small, and
Right.
working your way up to it. Like you'll do it. You'll get there.
I wanna do it in the morning because I feel like that's, like, what everybody says, like, "Give your first fruits to him," like, I want to do that, and I was doing it until you guys came.
It always happens when some kind of vacation, something changes your schedule, it
Yeah,
screws everything up. Yeah,
yeah.
we weren't reading the whole time we were there,
I
and
was
we
gonna
could
ask you
have.
that. Were you doing your I know you have your, like, routine at night
Yeah,
but the girls would go to bed before you
yeah,
guys. We
yeah,
threw it. We threw the whole thing, but we have to get back to it. We have to
yeah.
get back on track because it's never too late to do that.
Yeah. The thing, so doing it in the morning has been something I've wanted to do too. And it ends up never happening because we want to start our day and do like all the things like I got to make breakfast for the girls and we got to start school and we have Bible going and things like that in the morning. We're reading the Bible in a year together and I was wanting to do that in the morning, but we just do it every night instead. Like that's what works for us. And I think it's just such a habit since they were babies that we read the Bible at nighttime, like just little stories. It was never in its entirety with them. I think we focused more on the New Testament because the Old Testament is intense, but we're doing it and they're enjoying it. So, whatever time works for you, like, yes, the morning may be the best for giving your first fruits to Him and everything, but you start with what you could do. So, if that's
Yeah.
like in the middle of the day, do it in the middle of the day, you know?
I just have to get it in somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Put
I
it
think
on
that will
your
make a big
schedule.
difference.
I think, like, you do well with, like, scheduling things.
I do, because I like being able to cross off the list. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I did it."
So
I'll put
put that.
something on my list that I just did so that I can cross it off.
Yeah. So do that.
Yeah.
Write that down on your list and he'll do it.
Yeah. When I think about doing things for her, being better for Peachy, that helps kind of hold me accountable.
Even reading it aloud so that she could hear it, even if she doesn't understand it, it's still like the Holy Spirit will just work within her and everything.
I was having the audio book from the Bible app
Yeah.
playing because the baby Bible that you got her, like she wants to be in it because there's pictures, but it's not like crazy detailed,
Yeah.
but she has to have it and she's like tearing at the pages. So I would love to sit there and read it with her, but I don't want her to like, tear it apart.
Yeah. That'll
But
change soon. I mean, I
yeah,
don't want to talk about that changing soon because that
no,
means
I
she's getting bigger.
I know. No, we have to keep her
Oh,
this size. But I do wanna do all of the things with her,
yeah.
going to church and things. That's where I'm at, trying to find a church. Like you said, that's so important, and signing her up to be dedicated to me, to be baptized. Part of that is having regular attendance at the church and having fellowship at the church. I want to have all of that, but it's not easy with a baby. I know you said they would have helped you, but I don't know. I don't wanna just put her in the nursery.
No, I never did that with the girls.
Yeah, I wanna have her with me. She's the reason why I am here feeling that pull to go to church the second that I had her, and just every day, I feel so like you said, you were very much in the world when you were in San Diego and doing all those things. I still was in the world when I had her, and I think I'm still like this, like, I'm, like, kinda in and kinda out, going back and forth. When certain things happen now, I am feeling more and more convicted, and I think that that is showing me how far along I am. Eyewitnesses it. I can't watch a lot of the things that he watches. I don't even want to watch the news. I hide a lot of things on Instagram that I don't want to see just because not only is it like not my thing, but it just feels different now
Yeah.
looking at things like that, and I think that that's a big part of it is like that conviction now. So new to me.
Yeah. I mean, I still struggle because like how you talk about who wants to have to say all the time they're not good enough. And I feel that a lot.
What, that you're not good enough?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel that so often. And like, I get really frustrated with myself being in the world still, like, still letting things control me. It's a hard thing sometimes because I want to completely just give myself to him and I'm constantly struggling with those things. I can't really explain it. Like, I have so much faith. I have so much emotion and overwhelming feelings often when I think about him, when I think about the great things that he's done for me, that it's so evident that he is in my life.
Yeah.
But I still struggle with giving him everything. And it's crazy because I know that he is the way, the truth, and the life. I know that. I know that so well, and I still struggle. I don't know what needs to happen in order for me to be better, to do better. I know that we're always going to fall short. Nobody can be perfect. I know,
Yeah.
like, I know that.
Would you say that it's a spiritual warfare type of thing, do you think?
Maybe. It could be. And because I get really stressed out when people like will say, for example, well, that's just how guys are, just whatever it is. Like, I can't even give an example. Well, that's just how they are. Why? Why are
Yeah.
they that way? Like,
Yeah.
why in this case, if I'm aware of the problem, why can't I fix it? What's the struggle? Why can't I get there? It seems so silly to me,
Yeah.
Like, why can't and I guess and there's my problem. I'm like, I'm still saying me. Why can't
I
I
was
do
just
it?
thinking that.
Like,
Yeah. You're like, you're yeah.
so, like, how do I get to the point where I just have to talk to him more. Like, I'm not talking to him enough, which is true. I'm not. I'm not talking to him enough because I say my prayers. I felt like I had a really meaningful talk with him Saturday night because the girls are now going through communion class. And I'm so excited about that. And I'm so excited, like, watching their faith grow. And I know that he's in control of everything, but I'm like, God, please, just having my conversation with him. let them understand what this means, all those things. And it ended up just being such a good class, our first class. It was just so awesome. I was so proud of the girls for how they were able to understand and explain. I'm like, I don't think adults can even do what they do sometimes, especially Bridget. I'm like, hello. Like,
In so many ways. I told Jamie this yesterday. Her girls are just amazing.
I know, like, of course, God put me as their mother. They're mine because that's what He wanted, but they're the way that they are because of Him. I feel like people always say, you're doing such a great job with them. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm not
Me.
doing anything.
People that always say that is me.
I
Yeah.
just I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I guess that's what, Jesus talks about, having faith like children.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just amazing. Their minds, what they're able to remember, they can recite entire chapters of the Bible. And I'm like, excuse me.
I can't even do that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like,
That's
entire
amazing.
chapters, not just like this much of a verse. No,
Yeah.
a whole entire chapter. And I mean, because their minds are just sponges,
Yeah. They're not full of all of the
garbage,
worldly things that
garbage.
yeah. But that's also how you're raising them too.
Yes,
You're
it's
not
so
filling
important to
them
me. It's so
yeah.
important.
Well, because you're shaping their faith, you know,
And it helps to
for
shape mine.
yeah,
I've learned so much from watching silly kid shows. They're not even silly, they're so good. Superbook is awesome. It's such an awesome show, and it honestly taught them a lot about the Bible before they were, like, in it, reading it, and it's pretty accurate. So,
which is probably hard to find.
yeah, it's such a struggle. It's such a struggle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just constantly making the effort to grow closer to God and keeping that faith strong. It's hard. It's hard. It's not gonna be an easy road. I
No.
wish I could tell you it is, but the moments that you, like, think about what He's done for you and that it's just so obvious that it's not like you say, how many times could this just be, like, luck? Like, "Oh, wow, you're
Yeah.
so lucky."
Yeah.
You just realize, like, "Wow, okay." It just
It has to be him.
yeah, and that's the thing too, even before I was strong in my faith too, that I didn't mention before, like, I always have been a believer because I would always just look outside or something, and I'm like, "Look at this world. Like,
Yeah.
how could there not be a creator? Everything has a creator. Everything."
You've been big on that since I've known you. You've been big on that.
Yeah. And I'm just like, so it'll never cross my mind that this is not real life. There's just no like I wouldn't be able to comprehend anything else, which I'm so happy about that because it would be difficult to like for you, for someone who didn't maybe think that way. I like what else? How? How? Hello? Like
I
I
didn't think
comprehend.
anything about it at all,
Yeah,
but
and
when you
it's
do
crazy if you think about everything about how everything is so perfectly designed, and if he took his finger off for 1 second, we would be done. Like,
yeah. When I
seriously
think about
though.
that, that makes me I've always thought about that. Like, if there wasn't it just goes into, like, if there wasn't this, then there wasn't this, and then it's like there's just nothing. And then my mind just goes, "But then there's, like, nothing. There's nothing ever." Like, that's where I get tripped up. But thinking about the fact that there are such beautiful things and how everything works out, like, the things we were sending back and forth the other day, our lungs and the trees, they look alike, and everything is so intricately designed. I don't know. I really never ever thought about it because I just didn't care. I don't think I believed in the Big Bang and whatever else is said to put us here. But when you think about it, like when I think about it now, I'm like, there has to be there's just too much designed for it to be luck,
Yeah,
you know? But
it's
there
so
just has to
cool.
be. Yeah. And but I think it's cool coming as a new believer now, reading the Bible, even Genesis, like when I start to read that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's why this is like how it is. Like it's I don't know how to explain it. Like I've already lived, so I get to like look backward. It's almost like when you watch a movie and then you read a book and you're like, oh, I remember that part of the movie. Even something as simple as like the labor pains. that he said that Eve was gonna experience because she ate the fruit, and Guy always asks me, "Why is something that we're designed to do so difficult and so painful?" And then when I read that, I think toward the end of last year, I was like, "This is why." It literally says why. And, like, this wasn't just written after I had a baby. This
Yeah.
is, you know, from so long ago, like, it's
Yeah.
literally all here. It's just crazy.
It is crazy. And you know what else is you're gonna find really crazy? I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but there's just I wish I would have written things down, but there's just sayings. There's things in the Bible that are common sayings that people say who even are potentially not even believers. And they say them, and I'm like, I wonder if they know that that is literally from the
From here.
Bible. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so
Okay, the
funny.
next time you come across them,
I
you'll
know.
have to tell
I
me.
have to. And I will because we're just restarting again. We're like at the beginning in Job right now. We're almost done.
I loved the beginning of Job, and I never finished it.
Oh man,
I'm so
Job is
excited to see
difficult.
how it
And
turns
like
out.
I never it hits the Bible, reading the Bible, it'll hit you differently every time you do it. You'll find something new about it. And that's something I pray for too. Help me to learn something new about you that I never knew before. And that's something that I got from Tara Lee Cobble when we
Yeah.
first read the Bible recap. That was the first time we read the Bible. I think we used that thing. And I do learn something new, like with the labor pains. I don't know if it's technically learning something new, but it's funny you mentioned that specific thing because when we read it this time, I said, huh. The way that he worded that, it almost seems to me like they were procreating in the garden already and she didn't experience pain. Like
Before.
she knew what childbearing was. I don't feel like it was a surprise for her. She knew what it was, but they don't tell us about all the children who were possibly made before the fall, like
Oh, right.
before that happened. Because
Yeah.
he created them and told them to be fruitful and multiply, and then they sinned immediately? No, they probably were fruitful and they probably multiplied in the garden, and there was no pain with childbearing. That's what I think. That's probably like a whole thing, such a big thing to get into. I'm not a theologian, so I don't know. But yeah,
Well,
that's what I
that's,
think.
like, super interesting.
Yeah, because
We'll
we
have to,
only
like
hear about, like, Cain and Abel. Those
yeah.
were the 2, like, that we hear about first, and we act as if those were the only ones, the first ones, and no. Because you wanna know something? Cain even says when he kills his brother, did you read those parts yet?
Yeah.
So when he kills his brother, he was fearful that when he was cast away out of God's, like, sight, that someone would kill him. Well,
Kill
who's gonna
him.
kill you if there's only 4 of you. No, there was already a ton of people.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy, right? And also, I think
Are
that
you gonna
it's
keep blowing my mind?
yeah, I think it's also could be reasonable that God created more people, but Adam and Eve is the line that we need to know about. We needed to know about that line. Who knows? But who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I certainly don't know. But I don't believe that Cain and Abel were Adam and Eve's first children
Yeah.
at all. So, yeah.
That's, like it makes it kind of fun
Yeah.
that you get to,
You
like,
learn
learn.
new
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
And listening to other people talk and other sermons and other podcasts and stuff, and you hear not their interpretation, because I know that can get tricky because you
Yeah.
don't want to listen to how people interpret. It's written
Yeah.
how it's written. But hearing things like that, it makes you think. And that's really exciting. 'Cause there's so much that goes on in this thing. Like
Yeah.
there's so much to learn, and it's just so cool.
It's a big book.
It is a big
And
book.
it's a book with just lots of different little books in there. And what's amazing is that it didn't all come from people in the same region. They weren't all together writing these books together.
And we didn't have Facebook, so it wasn't like they sent it on a DM or Messenger or share my viral post. Like, that's something that helped
I
me
know.
big time. Like, I think I mentioned it maybe in the first episode as a new believer and somebody who needs to have proof, or like, I want to research things. And like, I'm always like, like, did that happen? Like, but what
Yeah.
about this? Even with you. I do it to you all the time. I'm like, "But, like, what did you do?" Like, if you're
Yeah,
saying something with Hector, I'm like, "Yeah, but
I
what
did
about you?"
nothing.
I'm always learning about how accurate this is and the proof and how it's that thing that we were talking about when you were here, that map of how everything connects. And it's just, it pushes me that much further to be like, how could it not be? And don't get me wrong, I'm still not fully surrendered. That's my biggest thing is I'm not fully surrendered yet. And I am trying to be, but there's still something there. But every single time I look at or hear things like that, I'm like, they didn't send a paper airplane their story. It's how do you make it up to be that long ago? Like how I don't know. It's like mind blowing and it's exciting as a new believer. It makes me want to keep learning and
It's exciting for me as a seasoned believer. I love it. I get so excited and I'm like, I feel like I'm always the only one that's stopping. I'm like, wait a second. And I have to talk about it. And it's so much fun. I love when that happens because it doesn't always happen. There's parts of reading the Bible that I'm like trying
it's
to pronounce all the names.
I'm like, "Oh,
And
I skip through that." And I hate that I do that, but I'm like, "Here is the lineage or the whatever," and it's like, "This is the son of this and this," and I'm just like like,
did I
"Who?"
tell you though that I ordered a couple books from
No.
Tiny Theo oh my gosh, of course I'm not gonna be able to say it.
You have to, I'm not
Theologians?
gonna help you.
Tiny
Who?
Theologians? It's a
That's not the word. Is that the word?
someone who studies theology.
I
Okay, anyway. I ordered some books because often with children, they believe what they believe because you're telling them. And it's just like, yeah, of course, it makes sense to them. And when you ask them, why do you believe what you believe? They'll be like, because, Jesus died for us. But how do you know that? Like, how do you know about that kind of stuff? Right. And, and I need to pause. You're so ridiculous. What are you doing?
I had to close the curtain.
It came down. Safety.
I just wanted to close the curtain.
You're like, keep going. How can I do that?
I need the light to be like this.
You're only like a little, it's just too much right there, but you're fine. There you go.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay, sorry.
so I bought some books from Tiny Theologians. I believe that's what it's called. And I'm so excited about it because it's going to help the girls to be able to explain why they believe what they believe. Not just go in circles like because I
Yeah,
love Jesus, because Jesus died for us. Like they're going to be able to explain.
in depth.
Yeah. And I'm excited because I don't know theology well. I'm not a theologian.
That is definitely the word. That's the word. Whatever you said, tiny whatever is not the
What
word.
did I say?
I don't
Tiny
wanna I don't
theologians.
that's it.
Yeah, theologian. What did I say?
Theologian.
That is what I said, theologian.
I kind of like it.
I'm a tiny theologian. But yeah, I'm excited
Okay.
about it. I'm so excited, and hopefully I'll be able to spread that wisdom.
And it's designed for their age or specific ages?
No, this one is for their age, like, because you could put on the site, like, what age group you're looking for, and
Okay.
these popped up. And I also grabbed a book for communion just to have an extra thing, but then it occurred to me that it's possible that that book is different than what we believe for communion.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It'll still probably have a good foundation maybe, but what gets a little confusing is if people believe that the bread and wine are Jesus' body and blood.
Is that what it is? Is that what the difference is?
Yeah, some people believe it just represents his body and blood. And then we believe that it is his body and blood. And you know what's really crazy? So, okay, now I'm going to have to read this because it is weird to hear. I understand that. I guess we're going to talk about communion a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says the institution of the Lord's Supper, which you read this in Matthew. This is Matthew 26. It says, now as they were eating, Jesus took bread and after blessing it, broke it and gave it to his disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. So he said, this is my body. He didn't say this represents my body. He didn't say this is like my body. He said this is my body. And then he said, and he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, drink of it, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. So he's saying that it is his body and blood. And, okay, you have a question?
Yeah. So that's the same across all versions.
Yeah.
So literally any wine.
Well, no, it has to be blessed. It's the words that are said. Here.
I see. Take, eat, this is my body. For this is my blood of the covenant. Yeah, I see.
Okay, hold on. So it says here in 1 Corinthians 11:23, for I received from the Lord what I also delivered to you, that the Lord Jesus, on the night when he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, this is my body, which is for you. Do this in remembrance of me. In the same way also he took the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink the cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. So it's the word of Jesus, what he said the night he did this is what consecrates it, so makes it holy. So it's
Okay.
the word of God that makes things holy. So when God created, he said, let there be light, and there was light. Like it's his word that makes things what they are.
What they are.
Yeah, so it's not just any bread and any wine is his blood and body. It has to be consecrated. So it has to be blessed. It has to be holy. You have to use his words that he used that night in order for that to happen. Now, I don't know who can do that.
Right.
I believe that you have to be ordained to do something like that. Like you have to be called to be like a pastor, a minister, something.
So now maybe that's why Allie, maybe because she doesn't believe that it truly is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she believes that it represents, and that's why
Yeah.
she is leading that.
Yeah.
That could
Which is
explain that.
it's so understandable for people to think that because, oh my gosh, my pastor, he explained it in such an amazing way that what's really cool is actually not knowing how something is what it is. Like we can't explain why it's his body and blood, like how that happens. And we don't taste
That.
and
Yeah.
blood, like, but Bridget, and I'm going to cry because she said during this time, she said, well, if God is omnipresent, then it makes sense that he could be present in the wine and the bread because he's everywhere. And Pastor was like, hello,
Yeah. I can't even, I mean, I have no words.
right? And he's like, I've never heard someone use that word in just a regular conversation. And when she had told me that, because she told me that ahead of time, like, because we were talking about this stuff. And I was like, yeah, yes, you're right. You're right. He's literally everywhere. And
Yeah.
so of course he can be present in the bread and the wine. He's there. And it's to remember him for what he did for us. He gave his body, his blood was drained. Yeah.
I
So
feel
that's
like
what we
that's
believe.
the childlike faith
Yeah.
situation, because where she's like, yeah, like he's obviously here. I'm like, no, he isn't. Like I'm like, this is Welch's grape juice, but
Like
to have that,
I don't see him. Hello?
yeah, where is he? Hello, this is a cracker. Um, yeah, I think that is like a prime example of
Yeah.
childlike faith.
So, like, when you think about it, though, you're taking God at his word, and that's
Yeah.
the whole point about it. He doesn't say, "It's like my body," "It represents my body." It's none of that. Literally said, "This is my body," and he broke it, which his body was broken, like, for all that, and it's just crazy. But, yeah, what the pastor said is, like, we can't explain everything. We can't because it is a mystery. It's not meant for us to know everything. But when we take God at his word, that's the right thing to do, you
Yeah.
know? But it's hard to have that faith. It all comes down to faith, and faith
Yeah.
is not seeing and believing, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Well, this is a good example of it because literally, whoever is witnessing or watching this instead of just listening, and you see my face as you're saying, it literally is. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Because it's hard. I'm like, I don't have that understanding. And I guess I'm not meant to. I just am supposed to just go by the word. But yeah, it's not an easy thing. That's something that I want to pray for is to have more of that. I wanna question things because I feel like that's still healthy to do, that's a good thing, but I don't wanna be so I don't know what the word
I
is.
mean, he knows if you believe or not. Like, like, you could say
Yeah,
out loud, "Oh, yeah, I believe that," but he's gonna
right, but
know if
he
you're being
knows.
truthful. So, yeah,
Yeah,
you questioning things, I think he'd be fine with. I mean, I
right.
can't presume to know what God is happy with and not happy
I
with
know.
it. But, I don't think he would want fake faith.
No, and I definitely wouldn't be good at having fake faith because 'cause I'm not good at faking anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, now I'm really interested in that. And I feel like when I read, I just am reading, but there's so much more. Like Matthew, I think I've read twice, not the whole thing the first time. I want to read it again and just like pray for, I don't know, like an open mind
Yeah.
or something like that. Like so that I'm able to think, because I would have just read right through, like, this is like my blood. This would represent, like, I wouldn't have been like, oh, in this sentence, like, I want to do sentence by sentence and really break it down.
And I do wanna say that when our pastor asked, "Why do you think communion is a good thing to participate in? Like, how does it make you feel?" And I said that it just makes me feel closer to Jesus. And he's like, "Yeah, obviously, I guess you can't get any closer." Literally, because you're, like, taking him in, and I do get such an overwhelming feeling when have the Lord's Supper, and especially if I've gone a while without it because I had gone a while without it. This past Sunday, I was crying, like, taking it because I was just like, "Oh my gosh," like, it's so overwhelming. So,
Does this happen whenever, or is there a specific time of like year? Does
no,
that
we do it every Sunday.
every Sunday?
Yeah, not every church does it. There's nothing in the Bible that tells us how many times you have to do it. So, it's like, I guess, at the discretion of the church. Well, we're talking about stuff that we didn't even plan to talk about.
It's okay because what you were saying and me not understanding it is a real time example of my faith and your faith, how strong you're believing in that. I wish that I could
Yeah.
be like that. I just have to keep going on that journey.
It's a constant thing, like, you're constantly growing closer. It's something to pray about. Help me to understand your word, help me to grow closer to you, give me an open heart, open mind to take it
Yeah.
in. But, yeah, I think the most important thing is taking God at his word. He doesn't say something and then not mean it.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
that's a
I
big
think I
thing
have
to
to not
remember.
skim, don't skim, don't look past things, don't add words in. I want to have like a
Yeah,
clear mind when I'm reading so that I don't miss things like that. It's a learning experience.
of course. I mean, we're learning every day, not only in a faith way, just in life in general.
Yeah. And I feel like the more you come out of the world, the more you're able to focus on this. And the more you're able to learn, you're able to recognize things that he said. And I
Maybe,
feel like it
yeah.
all comes out of like getting out of the world,
Yeah,
dipping
it's
your toe
just
back in.
it is a complete ride because, like we talk about, like with the shows and things, for example,
Yeah.
how, it was the same for us. He, would watch things that are terrible. Let me say that we've been watching some stuff that I'm like, but at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of like real life at the same time. the stuff that we're watching. We're like, what is it? Chicago PD. We just started watching. I know.
What?
I know.
I can't picture you guys watching that.
Yeah.
First off, pause just so that the viewers know who we're dealing with, and it's not a bad thing. We had Kung Fu Panda? Was it Kung Fu Panda? Kung Fu Panda on whatever the newest one,
Yeah.
and this thing, elephant turned into a snake, turned into a something with this crazy voice and all these things, like, Jamie immediately was like she was like, "I don't like this." Like, you could literally see and feel how uncomfortable she was with this thing. And then Hector, which I loved, I didn't say any of this to you, but he immediately, like, once you voiced that you were concerned about it, Hector was like, "All right, girls, turn it off. Like, that's it. We're gonna turn it off." And the girls turned it off. There was nothing from anybody. And then you said, "But how did that make you feel?" You asked the girls, like, "Did that make you feel any kind of way?" Like, it's just amazing. So I just wanted everybody to know, like, who the type of mama that they're dealing with.
Well, yeah, so it is really concerning. I think it's mostly like, yes, I'm able to be uncomfortable, but I don't want my girls to have any crazy things, right?
Yeah.
Watching anything that's crazy. I usually tell them if they ask me to watch TV because they only get 2 days a week to watch TV.
Mondays and Fridays, I learned. They told me right away.
And usually tell them, watch something nice, And I don't know what they were thinking putting on something new that we've never gone over before.
Well, they might have thought that it was like a cartoon, like kids' cartoons and
Yeah, they don't understand how things have changed, like from the first Kung Fu Panda to this recent one. It could be different times.
different motives, different
But
worldly
really,
situations.
it's just been a slow trickle. So I think
Yeah.
that it's always been there. The things have always been there. Like, why are Disney movies so sad? Why did Mufasa die like that? You know what I
That's
mean?
something we really need to get into in another episode, like heavily into that, because there are so many things with that I'm learning now that I'm like,
It
I'm
traumatized
gonna write
us.
that down.
Okay, it traumatized us, really. But yeah, so we are watching a show, and it did the first episode. It made me actually very uncomfortable, and I was, like, about to say, like, "All right, I'm done, like, I can't," but I didn't, but we'll see. I might still. I've done that with a few things, but I try, like, I don't know, I try to be okay. It just depends on what it is. The first episode was really bad, and I'm probably really awful not turning it off, honestly.
I'm so weird with things now. Like, I was never a big like show person. Obviously, when I was growing up, I would watch Jersey Shore and like all of those things. But I never got into like, I don't know, what
Action?
housewives.
Oh,
I mean, none of that. No Chicago thing, no
bloody
90210, no crime,
90210? Oh, see.
nothing. Grey's Anatomy, whatever. Like literally, it was Jersey Shore and QVC. That's like and Food Network. Like that's what I watched.
See, you were just a good kid. I think I was a good kid, but I did terrible things. I did terrible things. Well, every time I think of something new pops into my head of like what I did, even if it was super young, I immediately am horrified and repent.
Oh,
Immediately. I'm
yeah.
like in the shower and I thought about something. I don't even remember what it was. It was like 2 days ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that did happen. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful to like,
He forgives.
he does, which I'm so thankful for. And I don't feel shame. Like,
Yeah.
once I repent for something, I'm not feeling shame anymore. Even like some of my worst offenses, which he would say they're all the same.
They're all terrible.
They're all terrible. But to me, what I think is a worse offense, I don't
Yeah.
feel shame about anymore. So, yeah.
Thank God.
Yes. Yes. Honestly, thank God. Thank God. He is
He's
very
amazing.
good.
We both said that something
Is
good about
so
him.
good. He is so good. I'm gonna break out into song.
I did want to mention one other thing that you always said was God. I believe we mentioned it in the first episode, but I didn't really like dive into it, especially when it came to talking about Peachy, which is strange because she's the reason why I am even a believer now. But I guess there were always like little things every so often that for years, I don't think that I mentioned it in the beginning in the first episode, but long story short, Guy and I were on the same page about having a baby when we first got together. And then we went on completely separate pages. And I wanted one, he did not. And we still stayed together. It was very difficult. And then got married in 2023. And I just said, I'm going to pray and hope, pray for somebody who didn't. Are you crying?
Yeah.
No. I just I think I did say the words pray, that it will happen, and if not, like, I have his 2 boys, I have him, and it is what it is. I'm gonna be sad forever about it, but I love him. So I married him knowing that it probably would never happen, but had that hope, and seeing that I gave that up for him, that's what made him say, like, "This is I can't not give you a baby. I love you so much. You married me knowing, like, that this was not going to happen. So I need to show you how much I love you by doing this with you. Like, I want to do this with you," which that in itself has to be God's doing because Jaime, like, how it was a no. Like, it was a
Yeah.
no, like,
But
constant.
I never believed it.
I know. Nobody
Never,
did. Nobody did.
never.
Yeah. So I think and the fact that I
But
still
you
stuck
did.
around,
You believed it.
I had to. That's why I was gonna say the fact that I still stuck around. Obviously, I loved him and I love him. I love his boys. I love his family. So it wasn't just like, okay, I'm not gonna have a baby, bye. But I think I did always feel something because there was no question like I was gonna marry him. This was my life and I knew I was supposed to be a mom. So I think that that was God's doing for sure. Like it was the plan. It was the plan the whole time to have this baby girl. And I would get little things every so often. Like I would text him when he's at work and just mention wanting to have a baby. And he'd be like, nah, like whatever he would say, like, yeah, I know. Or he would just send me like an emoji, like a smiley face emoji. I'm like, okay, he like really is not here with me. And I would go to TJ Maxx and there was like this set of peach bibs right when I walked in. And I'm like, how? And this is obviously when I already loved the name and I would just imagine this baby girl. And I bought them, knowing or not knowing if they would ever go on her. So just like little things like that. And then Jamie, did you know we were trying when you sent me the stickers? Yes.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah.
even before that, though, I bought that peach gift bag before, way before.
You did
Yeah. I bought the
before I was pregnant.
years before. Yeah. I had that peach bag in my closet forever. I saw it in the store. And I'm like, I have to get this. It was at TJ Maxx.
For the day.
I have to get this. And I held on to it for years. Yeah. And I sent it to you flat. So I couldn't put the stuff in the bag, I
I
think.
have it. It's in the basement. I have it with all her stuff. Like it's just like those little things. And then come January, I think I probably told you right away when he told me like he wanted to start trying. And then you were getting these sticker packs for the girls and there was a little peach. I have it upstairs. And you sent it to me and I got it. I think it was maybe in March. And whatever. It was a cute sticker. And it was a peach. And on it it said, as for me, I will always have hope. And it was Psalms 71:14, right? Yeah. Oh, are you turning to that?
Yeah. It says, but I will hope continually and will praise you yet more and more.
That's 71:14.
Yeah.
Psalms is so long. Okay. So that's what it said on it. I will always have hope, or as for me, I will always have hope. And then Psalm 71:14 on the bottom. And I had it on my mirror every single morning, my bathroom mirror. I would get ready, I would see it in the corner. And come to find out, when we were pregnant, we conceived on the 4th month, April, and her due date was 117. So that Psalm 71:14 backwards was our month we conceived and her due date. It was like, and when I realized that and I sent it to you,
Crazy.
yeah,
I was
I think,
hysterical. I was
yeah, you
hysterical.
lost your mind. I was so
I'm telling
excited about it.
Amy about it. I'm like telling everybody. My
Yeah,
gosh.
that was like that was one of those moments. Like, come on.
Eh,
Yeah, like that can't how, you
yeah,
know, that's
crazy.
just
Crazy. I still can't get over it. He is so funny. He is so
yeah.
funny. He's something else. He does such funny things.
Something so simple like that, but it had to come through you, which is also like a big thing. Like I couldn't have just gotten the sticker because I wouldn't have cared about it. I would have saw like Psalms and like, okay, great, Jesus, bye. But yeah, you like thought to send it to me, so it became like this important thing, and I don't know. And then finding out that it was a girl. I don't know when I saw the peach in the clouds. It was either before that day or that day. I remember like sitting in the backyard and there was like literally a peach cloud. But yeah, there were just like little things that would just show up every now and then. That was just little things that and you always said like that's him, like God is so good, and I just was not ready to accept that or hear that. But like looking back on it, I just feel like there's no other way. Like that can't be luck. That wasn't like the stars aligned with Saturn and the moon and it sent me down a peach sticker, it wasn't any of those funky things that I was believing in at that point.
I'm like
So
looking in our text messages to see.
well, I could probably hold up my phone to show the sticker. This is the peach sticker.
It's like blurry.
It's blurry.
Okay, there it goes. Nope, it's good.
Okay. July 1st. It was the day that we found out it was a girl. The peach in the clouds. Can you see it?
So crazy.
He was definitely there.
Always. He's always there. And like how I don't know. I just even in just the smallest things, he wants to show us that he's there.
Yeah. I was so stubborn then though. I definitely didn't want to listen. I didn't want to hear it then.
But you really did start to open up more.
I think when pregnant, I did. And then having her, obviously.
Yeah. Makes sense. A little bit of heaven came down to you.
Yeah.
Like creation is the biggest miracle. Creation, so what God created at the beginning, and then people continually create life is a miracle.
Yeah.
And the other biggest miracle is Jesus dying and coming back to life.
Coming back.
Yep. Those two
Yeah.
are huge. Huge.
Which is a lot too. As a new believer, that was a lot to be like, are we sure? But then all of the different like accounts of people afterward,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so cool. It's so cool. There's so much to learn and so much to discover, no matter what stage you're at, whether you're like me or whether you're like you or somebody who has been strong, involved believer their whole life, continuously going to church and all that.
Yeah.
There's so much. It's so much fun.
It is a lot of fun. I love it. And I love crying because of it.
You do. You do. Only now I also do that. Not as often as you, but it's gonna get there.
I'm such a big baby. I'm such a baby.
The Holy Spirit.
Gosh. I mean, I don't always love crying. It's like I'm in church and there Jamie goes. Sometimes I wonder if people are like, oh, there
She's
she
at it
goes.
again. Yeah.
I don't notice anybody else but my pew doing it
Yeah.
because I'll see my mom and my sister like this. We're
I
just
did it the first time
crybabies.
I walked in for Easter. When I walked in, I stepped into the church and I was crying and I looked at that guy and I'm like, what's happening? Like, what is wrong with me? And
Just
then,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah. I guess everything was just like in motion. So,
Yeah, it'll always be in motion.
yeah, you gotta allow it, let it come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for joining us. And we want you to remember that God is going to meet you right where you're at. And you don't need to come to him a changed person. He will change you. And
That's
you're just going to feel it. It's just going to be, there's not going to be any effort. You're going to start having this kind of discernment that is overwhelming sometimes. And it'll take a little bit to get used to. And you're like, it's hard, especially when people around you are not there yet. It's really hard. But God has a plan and it's a good one. And he's going to change everyone.
I love
I
that.
mean, he's going to change everyone around us, I think.
All in their own time. And in his time, actually. All in
Yeah.
his time.
Time.
All in due time. Thank you all for watching another crazy episode of us.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That you join us again for next time.
Do you want to say it with me? Do you know how to say it? I'm not going to tell you.
Do you know how to say it?
You just
God
have to
is
seek him.
good. Okay. God is good all the time.
All the
And all the
time.
time, God is good.
Amen.
Okay, bye.
Bye.